ఎలా ఉన్నారు అందరూ? Thank you. Okay, so during the next 1 hour, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to show you a bunch of cool product demos. So how many of you love Google products? Okay, shout it out. How many of you love Google products? Perfect. Let's keep it up that way. And today we start with Android Jelly Bean. Give it up for that. Can you see it on screen? Okay, let's start. So how many of you wake up in the morning at 5 o'clock? How about 6 o'clock? How about 11 o'clock? I know, man, I know. This is the developer audience, I know. Perfect. Okay, so the way I'm going to demo a bunch of products today is, I'm going to run you guys through my own life and show you how I'm going to use Google products from the time I wake up in the morning, I go to office, and then I come back to my home and rewind. So for that, as I said, the first thing is, you have an alarm clock in the morning, right? And what's the first thing you do when your alarm buzzes? Perfect. And then you go back to sleep again. What happens when it rings again? Again, the developer audience, we snooze it again. Right. And then the third time, it's almost like we've had enough. We dismiss it, and we get up, and we are back. So let's see how that works in Android. Okay. Sadly, I don't have a notification for that here. But what I'm going to show here while I'm at the notifications part is something. So let's see what I have here. Did you see just what happened there? Let me do that again for you guys. I put my 2 fingers here, swipe it back, and do this. So does anyone know what this is? Why are these notifications so special? Shout it out. Let's make it an action-packed. Sorry? Okay, I get it, expansion of notifications. Even a 5-year-old kid can say that, but why is it expandable? Why is it so good? Multi-touch, okay, that's cool. And did I hear something about being actionable? Perfect. Yes, so that's the right answer. So as an app developer, right, so if you want to write an app, you can actually push in notifications. That's old school. But with Jelly Bean, what you can do is, you can actually add actions to it. So think about it. What is a notification? You want the user to know something, right? So when you want the user to know something, you also want the user to do something about it. It's not like, it's 5 o'clock in the morning. I just don't want to say that. I'm going to say it's 5 o'clock in the morning, you should probably wake up, right? So to give you an example of how these actions can actually be used, in this case, if I get a missed call, I can send a message back or I can call him back. But as an app developer, what you can do? Let's take the example of a restaurant rating application, okay? Since this is more of a developer audience, I'm going to get slightly more technical. Bear with that. Okay, the last time I was in Hyderabad, I say, I like Bawarchi biryani on my application, okay? On your application, on the restaurant rating application. Now, you can be very smart about this, and the next time when I'm near Bawarchi, what can I do? I can basically push a notification. Never mind. I can basically push a notification and say, okay, you're near Bawarchi, why don't you go ahead and check out the biryani there, right? And when I say you're near Bawarchi, it's about 12 p.m. So what is the action you can actually pair up with it? Guys, any guesses on what is the action? So the notification is, you're near Bawarchi, why don't you go ahead and have biryani there? What's the action I can pair up? Right, the answer is like, one of the examples is you can actually make a reservation, or you can get directions to Bawarchi, right? So these are the two examples which I could come up with. But use your creativity, you can come up with a bunch of actions for every single notification. And the next thing. So how many of you here have heard about Google Now? Not the guys who came in yesterday. Not the guys who came in yesterday. How many of you have actually heard about Google now? All right. I see a few hands in the air. Okay. Google Now is definitely my favorite feature of Android. Okay, so as I said, I woke up in the morning. I snoozed the alarm a couple of times, and I'm up right now. I've cleaned myself up, and I'm kind of planning my day. How is my day going to look like? I have a bunch of traveling to do. I have a bunch of sessions to take and all. So what I want to know is, what's the weather going to look like? And based on that, I can plan. Do I need to take my umbrella, and what are the things I need to do? So let's see what Google can do here. I'm going to ask Google, what's the weather? What's the weather outside? Will it pick it up? Okay, looks like it's uber fast. Yeah, the internet is slow, I have to agree. Okay, never mind. What's the weather outside? Thank you so much. Oops. Google, what's the weather outside? I don't know.
Just check. Go to settings, go to settings.
Okay.
Or just go to the...
All right, let me quickly check the Wi-Fi settings.
Connected to GD platform.
Yeah, we are connected to GD track 1.
Yeah, just try now. Or just move from one side.
I'm going to try it one last time, but this time, I want you guys' support, not your criticism and your sarcasm. Are you guys with me? Do you want to see something magical? Let's try it this time. Or if it doesn't work, you're not so lucky. What can I say? So let's try it out. What's the weather outside? Is my accent really that bad? So anyway, let me just check a couple of settings quickly. So, okay, a bunch of things I want to talk about here. So the way this works is you have, so when you say something, you have a voice recognition technology which is trained over a bunch of languages and accents. So this, unfortunately, is set over US English, and I have a very, very accented English, so that is probably the reason. So let me quickly change it to Indian English and set it. Never mind, I don't want you to say anything. Yeah. Okay. What's the weather outside?
It's 81 degrees and mostly cloudy in Hyderabad.
Sorry? Oh, okay. Okay. So what happened there? I told you, right? I don't have a US English, man. I don't do something like barrel roll and stuff like that. I speak like normal Indians. So that was the magic there. So as I said, what's happening here? So whenever you say something, there is a voice recognition technology which actually runs, which is trained over multiple languages, which I actually set it right now to English, Indian English. And once that is done, we query our servers and see what actually the weather is. But this is not the end of it. We actually have built a huge knowledge graph based on what we've learned over the last decade or probably more. So let's try asking Google a bunch of more questions. So let me start with a simple general knowledge question and see if Google can answer it. Who is the Prime Minister of India?
The Prime Minister of India is Manmohan Singh.
Whoa! Do you guys like it? Okay. But this time, I'm going to trick it. I'm going to ask, who is the president of India, and let's see if it gets it. Okay, so let's see what it has. Who is the president of India?
The President of India is Pranab Mukherjee.
So how many of you guys actually knew it? Brilliant audience, I love you guys. Perfect. So this is Google now for you, but this is again not the end of it. So let me quickly show you what I mean by a lot of other things are there. So it's a very, very simple swipe gesture. You put your finger here and swipe it up. You see some of these cards, right? It basically shows you the temperature and a bunch of maps. So these are basically called contextual cards. What do these contextual cards do? Google is slowly shifting from a pull-based mechanism more to a push-based mechanism. What do I mean by that? Like imagine a scenario like probably a few months ago. You wanted to know something, right? You have a question to ask. You want to know something. What do? You go to Google search and search for it. And we give you the answer, right? But we want to be smarter than that. What do? We know, at least we'll try to figure out when you're going to need that piece of information, and we're going to serve it at that point of time. For example, you have a flight to catch today evening, okay? And you've searched for that flight number today morning, okay? Now, I know when, as Google, I know when the flight is actually going to leave. So if I can remind you like 2 hours ahead in advance that you probably need to go to the airport right now, and it's going to take you 30 minutes to be in the airport, isn't that going to be useful? Right? So that is what we are planning to do. So that's Google Now and Jelly Bean for you guys. So give it up for that. Okay, hopefully this mobile mumbo jumbo is over, and hopefully it will work. All right. So, okay. I know what my day is going to look like. I've played around a bit with Google Now, and I still have like 20 minutes, 30 minutes to kill at my home. So I want to read the news. So let me quickly pull up my Chromebook, which for some reason is in the settings page. Can you guys see it? Cool. Okay. So I'm from Andhra Pradesh, so I still would like to know what's happening in what do you call AP, even though I've shifted to Bangalore. So let's load eNadu, and meanwhile, let's quickly load up TechCrunch, so that we know what's happening in the Silicon Valley, what's happening in the tech space. A bunch of you guys are developers out here. I'm sure you guys would be reading it as well. Okay, so as you see TechCrunch, you see that Dropbox users are experiencing some slowness. Wow, wonder why. Okay, so you start reading it, and then suddenly something happens. So how many of you guys go to your office in shuttles or cabs? Shuttles, cabs. Oh, the rest of you actually go on your personal vehicles? Okay, cool. So I'm one of the lucky few actually go to the office in a cab. So I get a missed call saying, from my cab guy saying that you need to come right now. So that's more or less the end of my morning day, right? So I close my Chromebook and I go back to my cab, right? So once I'm in the cab, I start thinking, hey, what was that article about Dropbox I was reading? I completely forgot about what it was. And then what do? I pull up my mobile and I pull up Chrome. And let's see what that does. I'm going to close away all the tabs, and I'm going to hit a new tab. Okay. Did you see what just happened there? Can you guys read the text there? Say yes if you can. Say no if you can't. I hear some no's. Okay. Okay. Apparently there's some brightness issue. Okay. While I said the brightness, so let me talk quickly about how it's an auto. That's probably the problem. Can you guys see it now? Perfect. All right. So here's the deal. Whatever I was reading right there on my Chromebook is automatically synced to my phone. So if you have your Chrome installed on your desktop, on your laptop, on your tablet, on your mobile, anywhere, and if you're signed into your Chrome profiles, so it's as simple as you need to log in with your Gmail ID into the Chrome browser, and once that is done, we'll sync your browser history and everything across all the devices. And so to demonstrate what I mean by syncing browser history, let me show you what I mean by that. So let me quickly open up the Dropbox article. Okay? Since we are loading it from 3G, it's going to take some time. All right, it's done. Okay. So here we are. It's not just the pages which got synced, it's the complete browser history which got synced. So the back button is going to work as well. So how many of you here have actually tried this at home? Okay, a few of you. Brilliant. Congratulations to all of you, a few of you, and the rest of you, please go home, try this out. This is a beautiful thing. When this was actually introduced to us internally before it was launched, we thought it was a super, super cool feature because I used to work, when I read some articles, I want to go home and continue reading that article because technical articles are really, really hard to understand in one go, right? How many of you have faced this? You have a big paper and you have to read it in multiple goes, right? A few of you. Exactly. So you need to be able to sync the history across all the devices, and that's what we've done for you. So give it up for Chrome Browser Sync. Cool. So that was Chrome Browser Sync. So again, I'm in the cab and I'm waiting. Have like 20, 30 minutes more to kill. It's a long drive. I'm sitting in the back seat. I'm thinking, what can I do? And then I pull up my laptop. Okay. I'm going to close the Chrome I have here. Okay, there we are. So start wondering, what do I do? What do I do? Then I suddenly remember, my dear friend Prasanna actually told me about this beautiful app called BeatLab. He didn't tell me anything about it. He said it's a nice app called BeatLab, and it's present in Chrome Web Store. How many of you here have heard of Chrome Web Store? Whoa, a lot of guys. Of course, you're developers. True to your name, you've heard of it. That's brilliant. So for the rest of you who haven't heard of Chrome Web Store, it's a place where you can put all your web applications, right? So imagine a situation a few years ago. If you want to find an app, for example, you want to create a nice video from a bunch of photographs you have. You want to create a nice collage. What do you do? Any answers? What do you do? Sorry? Google, right? So you Google the answer. Google for it that I want to find an app, and then you find a good app, and then you download it, right? You either pay for it or download it for free, and then you have the setup file. And then you install it. How do you install it? A bunch of next. And once that is done, you have it installed. Okay, I've used it a couple of times. And then something very, very, very common happens. How many of you have never here seen an OS crash before? Never ever seen an operating system, a Windows or a Linux or a Mac crash before, right? I see exactly 1 and 2 hands there, right? So every one of us has seen an OS crash. So what happens when the OS crashes? That's all. You have to reformat your hard drive and do a bunch of those things, and your application is lost, right? The setup file is gone. It's almost like you lost your life in a lot of ways, right? But in case of Chrome Web Store, I'm going to show you how simple installing an application is. So I open a new tab in Chrome, go to Chrome Web Store. So as you can see, there are a bunch of applications here. Oh, this guy looks like Rajpal Yadav for some reason. Well, never mind. Yeah, there are a bunch of apps here like games, entertainment, communication, and stuff. So let's quickly look for BeatLab. Okay. So it's as simple as add to Chrome and add. That's it. It's added here. And it's added across all your Chrome browsers, right? Be it your mobile, be it your Chromebook, be it any single device you have. If you have Chrome installed and you're signed in, this is going to work. So, okay. So let this load. wow. Okay. I don't know what this is. Can anyone tell me what this is? What's happening here? It's a music app. Okay, thank you. And next, like, what are these blue things? Why are they moving? Okay, it says it's a bass drum. It's a hi-hat. Oh, okay. Any ideas? Okay, I'm just going to try clicking a few things. I'm going to put a bass drum. Ooh. Okay, let's put a snare. Let's try some different music. Okay. You know what? I actually don't want to continue the demo anymore, man. I'm serious. I just want to keep playing with this app. But yeah, I have to go on with the demo. So my morning looks actually pretty cool, right? I'm actually sitting in my cab and I'm actually playing with music and I'm actually getting very creative. So my morning looks very, very good. So that's what Chrome Web Store does for you. You find an application, you install it within seconds, and it's across all your devices. It's as simple as that. So give it up for Chrome Web Store. Okay. So that almost ends my morning section. I've arrived at my office, and there'll be a bunch of technologies which I'm going to demo during the work phase. So what's the first thing which happens or which you do once you arrive at your office? Okay, mails, perfect. That's the first thing I do. And just before that, I actually have a cup of coffee. That's the first thing which I do. Okay, anyway. So I pull up my email. There are generally like 20, 30 emails which I have to go through every single day. And half of them I straight away archive. And there are a bunch of them which I either have to reply or mark them as to do so that I can do them later. Okay. Meanwhile, something happens. What happens? You have a meeting or someone pings you. Okay. For that, I'm going to invite my friend Prasanna, who's going to be playing the role of my colleague here at Google. So give it up for Prasanna. Hello, Prasanna.
Hey, man.
Hey. Cool. So you can see Prasanna's screen right there and my screen right here. Just give it some time. So as I said, I'm going to open gmail.com. As I said, this is a demo account, doesn't have a bunch of emails to read, so it's going to be just blank. So whatever is present, I'm just going to archive all of them. I don't care anyway. So while that happens, so once this is done, Prasanna is going to give me a ping saying we have a meeting. So when someone pings you saying we need to meet, we need to discuss something. Okay, that was loud. Oh man, you always address me as my dear friend. I can feel the love. Ah. Oops. I can really feel the love here, man. Anyway, so let's stop being. Okay. Anyway, yeah. Okay. So when someone says we need to brainstorm, what's the first thing which you generally do? A bunch of you guys actually get together and go to a meeting room and take a whiteboard and start jotting down ideas, right? And there'll be some bunch of crazy ideas, there'll be some bunch of good ideas. So you shoot down a few, you take a few as to-do items and start working on them, right? So that's what generally happens. But in this case, Prasanna is actually not in Hyderabad. Let's say he's in Gurgaon or even for that case in New York. Okay, this guy pings me just the moment I enter office and he says brainstorming. All right, so let's see what I do right now. Okay, let's open up a doc. Okay, so let's see what I'm going to do here. I'm going to create a new document. Call it brainstorming. once that is done, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share it with Prasanna here. And I can set it to can edit, can view, and a bunch of those things. And let's save it. Yeah. So once that happens, he gets an invite. Yeah. He gets an invite. He opens it up, and let's see what happens then. Okay. I see one other viewer here. Prasanna has joined. As I said, that's Prasanna's screen, and this is my screen, so keep following both of them. All right. Yeah. So we're going to do brainstorming, right? So what do we do here? Okay. I'm actually going to insert a horizontal line here. Oh, Prasanna just started doing that. Never mind. Okay. Prasanna, you take the bottom half, I'll take the top half. Perfect. I'm going to say brainstorming ideas. What? Oh, you guys love it? Beautiful. So give it up for collaborative editing. So yeah, both of us are actually typing into the same thing. Okay. So let's get to serious business. So brainstorming ideas. Brainstorming ideas. Brainstorming ideas. Okay. No ideas. Okay. Done. Okay. Okay. This is my first idea. Pretty stupid. That's what it is. Oh, he's having second thoughts about brainstorming. Then why did you ping me in the first place, man? Who asked you to do that? All right. Okay. I'm going to comment on this, what this guy is saying, and say, we gotta do it anyway. Okay. So this is collaborative editing, simple. People across different offices can edit the doc at the same time. So a few years ago, what used to happen was you take the example of a presentation you need to make for your project. You make the presentation, send it out to your partner. He makes some changes, sends it back to you. You make some changes. You don't like what you did. You send it back to him, and a bunch of those things happen. And finally, when the D-Day comes, you end up showing the wrong version of the presentation to your professor. So to avoid all this crap, so let's use Google Docs and do it better. But okay. But again, this is not the end of it. We live in India, right? We live in a place where internet is still kind of flaky, right? You use Tata Docomo in a wrong corner of the house, it doesn't catch. I'm just using Tata Docomo as just an example. You could be probably using any internet dongle, it will still have the same problem. Or the power could be down. The whole of North India got blown out a few days ago, right? So your Google Docs has to work offline exactly the same. Otherwise, the product is still pretty much useless. So let's see what happens if I unplug my Ethernet cable. So the first thing I'm going to do is, oh no, wait. Yeah, never mind. So I'm going to unplug my Ethernet cable. I'm going to turn my Wi-Fi off. Okay. There we are. Okay. Okay. So it looks like something actually went amiss. So you guys are going to see the black magic behind how Google Docs offline works. I've gone online again, or hopefully, yes. Okay. We hit something called offline docs. For some reason, someone disabled offline docs here. Perfect. I enabled offline docs. So this is what you would probably do the first time if you're syncing, right? Okay. I'm going to close this doc Prasanna for a while. In fact, I'm going to just close Chrome also for a while just to make sure it works. All right. Okay. Is this the doc we were editing? Oh, yes. Man, Prasanna, what is this? Kurbani ka meetha na. Never mind, man. Okay. So now let's try unplugging the Ethernet cable. Okay, now we're going offline. But did we actually go offline? Is this the definition of offline? Okay. No, this is not what offline is. Okay. I accidentally pulled out the display cable as well. So anyway, so if you notice what happened, does anyone see what the difference was in that screen from what was happening? It's just a very, very small, subtle difference. Does anyone see that? Right, there is one small icon here which says you're offline. You see that? That's all. It's as seamless and as beautiful as that. You pull out the plug, you're disconnected, it's just going to show a small icon saying you're offline, and you're going to type it as it is, right? So, I still have to come up with a few ideas here. All right, I'm going to say free Wi-Fi for the entire world, and glitch-free demos everywhere, which for some reason never happened. And okay, so I'm offline. Now Prasanna typed a bunch of things there, I typed a bunch of things here. Now, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to plug my cable back in and see what happens. Wait. Did that just sync? Is it the same thing across both the screens? Right? So whatever Prasanna has actually typed during the time I was offline, and whatever I have typed during I was offline, are both in sync right now. Prasanna, why did you delete everything, man? But never mind, go ahead. Right. So that was Google Docs offline for you guys. So give it up for Google Docs offline. Perfect. Awesome. So the next thing which I want to do once I'm in office is I actually have to file for my reimbursements. I've recently returned from a trip to Barcelona. I have my receipts somewhere in my drive, and I need to upload all those receipts. So when you guys go on business trips, or let's say even G-Day trips, right, and you have some business expenses, how many of you guys here have to file for reimbursements and you need to have your bills? Go anywhere, right? A bunch of you guys actually know that. So whenever you go somewhere, you need to have the bill to actually reimburse it. I generally lose all my bills. I am really, really bad at those things. So what I started doing is, I started taking a pic of every single expense I make. So, and I upload it to my G drive. So the last time I was in Spain, I uploaded a bill of my taxi receipt, and I uploaded it to my G drive. But what generally happens when you upload a file, a simple photograph you take from your camera, from your phone, and upload it, and then what happens? It's going to be named something like IMG something or DSC something. It's going to get uploaded, and it's going to get lost, right? You have a bunch of them, like 50, 60 receipts, and you're never ever going to find that bill again. So let's see what Google Drive can do for us. Okay. Before I talk about that, I think I went on too much about Google Drive. So how many of you here have heard about Google Drive? Oops, looks like I missed a few guys here and there. All right. So for the guys who don't know what Google Drive is more like your hard drive on the cloud. So you say to Google that, sync my folder to the cloud. Any change which happens here, sync it to the cloud. So it's synced across all your devices. Whatever change you make in one, it's synced across all of your devices. So it's as simple as that. So my drive is actually here. So I opened it, and I'm just going to search for taxi. I don't remember anything else. Oh, I found something here. And this is actually my taxi bill, right? So how did this happen? Any guesses? OCR, right? At least the guys who came in yesterday were attentive enough. That's good. So the thing is, whenever you upload an image to Google Drive, there is a two-step thing which happens. The first thing is OCR, called optical character recognition. What we do is, we try to extract out the text from your image. If it has any text, if it is a banner or anything, we try to take out the text from it. So once that is done, we try to run a visual search on it. What do I mean by visual search? Let's say the last time you've gone to visit the pyramids or you've gone to visit the Taj Mahal. Okay. So we try to say, does this image look like pyramids? Or does this image look like the Taj Mahal? And we try to attach a tag to it. Okay. So then what happens is you have a bunch of your Taj Mahal pics in your drive. You go ahead and search for Taj Mahal. It's actually going to turn them up, right? It's going to be as simple and as beautiful as that. So give it up for Google Drive. Okay. Well, as I said, my day has been very short, right? I just browsed my email, had a meeting, and I'm actually going home right now. Okay. Once I go home, what's the first thing I do? I generally want to relax and chat with my friends and do a bunch of things like that. And during this part of the presentation, Prasanna is going to play the role of my friend who's just returned from the US after a very, very long time. I haven't heard from him in quite a long time, like 2 years or 3 years. Okay, I'm going to open my Gmail and wait for his ping. I mean, I'll actually be talking to someone else, ideally, but yeah, let's wait for his ping. Okay. Apparently, Prasanna is in Gurgaon. Okay. But I am not in Gurgaon. Is there a delay? Oh, okay. So that was the order. All right. He says, hey man, are you in town? I've heard from this guy after a very, very long time. So I'm going to say, hey Prasanna, yes, I am in town. But if your friend comes back to you after a very long time, what's the first instinct you have? You want to meet him and you want to talk to him and you want to chat about your old stuff, right? So I'm going to say, oh, I can't wait to see you too. Although you're right next to me. Do you want to meet up sometime? But again, this is old school. I'm not going to say, do you want to meet up sometime? I'm going to say, you want to hang out, right? So this is what we're going to do. I'm going to quickly pull up plus.google.com. I'm going to create a hangout. I'm invite him. For those who are interested more in Hangouts and Hangout apps, I have a session today afternoon, so you might want to take that. I'm shamelessly tooting my own horn, but it's a good session. Okay. 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 Once Prasanna gets the invite, he's going to join the Hangout. So, can anyone here tell me what's so special about Hangouts? What is really that special about Hangouts? Why does it stand apart from the rest of the competition? Conference, exactly. So you can have up to 10 people in the same Hangout, even in normal bandwidth situations. Right? It's up to 10 people. Okay, okay. Oop. Okay, so Prasanna is a devil here. Okay. So again, when a bunch of friends catch up, you want to do funny things, funky things. Okay. That seems like Balaya, right, for some reason? Or is it just me? I don't know. Okay. I'm going to compete. I'm going to add a bunch of Google effects. It doesn't look like Johnny Depp, does it? It's like, I don't know for what. Anyway, if you can see, it basically follows my face. So we have a very, very effective face tracking technology here, and we try to make the experience as much fun as possible for you guys. Again, when we get together, doing this bunch of crazy things will hold fun only for a while. but you want to do something more active and more fun, right? So what's the thing you do? Right, exactly, someone got it right. You watch movies, you play games, right? So let's try watching a movie together. Want Gabbar Singh? Man, I can't give you Gabbar Singh, but I'm going to give you something very close. Exactly. For the Pawan Kalyan fans out there, I love this crowd, man. Oops, sorry. PNJ, all right, Punjab. Okay, there we are. Aha. So a bunch of old friends getting together and we're going to watch Panja together. So isn't this really a beautiful social experience? So he's sitting in his dorm room, I'm sitting somewhere in my house, and we're actually seeing a movie together. And across both the screens, it's going to be exactly the same. So that's the power of Hangouts for you. But again, this is not the end of it. So what do you generally do?
Save trees!
Save trees!
बचाओ बचाओ
एक मिनट
बचाओ
स्टॉप
बंद
स्टॉप सब लोग रुकिए स्टॉप स्टॉप
కోసం చేయలేదు జే ఐ వాస్ జస్ట్ జోకింగ్ చాలా మంది సెల్ఫిష్ గా చెట్లను నరికి రోడ్స్ వేస్తున్నారు కొండల్ని కొట్టి బిల్డింగ్స్
I'm
కడుతున్నారు
sorry guys, I'm actually going to pause it here. I'm really sorry for the Pawan Kalyan fans out there. But yeah, so as you can see here, we're actually going to watch the entire movie, not right now, but after the session, socially. But again, what do you generally do when you actually go watch a movie? Especially if it's a flop movie, right? You sit in the last row and actually pass a bunch of crazy comments, right? So that's what you do. If you really want to do that, there's a button here called push to talk, which will mute away the rest of the sound. You can keep passing random comments, right? So you can actually simulate a real life, a bunch of friends getting together and watching a movie together. So that's Hangouts for you guys. Okay. So the last thing which I want to cover today is something called Google Plus Events. How many of you here have used or even heard of Google Plus Events? That's cool. A few of you have actually done that. That's nice. So what we feel currently is the process of creating an event, a fun event, a birthday event, or anything like that is currently broken. Why? Firstly, there is a process of creating a nice invitation, and then there is a process of creating an event per se. What do I mean by that? Integration with the calendar and whether the person you're sending is free or not, right? So there is the invitation part, there is the event creation or the calendar part, and there is the photos part, which is crazily broken because most of the time, you will never get the photos you want, right? If you really want to get your photos, you need to ping that guy who took the best photos, and then only you'll get it. That's what generally happens. So we tried for a good solution for that, and hopefully you will like it. So let me quickly create an event. So before that, let me thank Prasanna for his patience, and let me take him off stage. Thank you, Prasanna. Thank you so much for joining us. So I don't need him for this part of the demo. That's why I'm pushing him out. All right. Okay. So this is how you create an event. You have a bunch of pictures. So can anyone see here the subtle animation which is going on in the candle right there? Can the guys in the last see it? Okay, I hear some yeses. Okay. So the thing is, these are very, very tastefully chosen images for your events. There are a lot of them. You can choose whatever you want. I'm going to choose this. Let me call it post G days, not gays. Post G days party today at, I'm going to make it at 11. Yeah, I'm actually partying right now. All right, so that's it. I can invite a bunch of people here. I'm going to use Prasanna again here. All right, so you can do a bunch of things like put in a lot of details and stuff. Once you do this, it's going to create a nice event page for you guys, in which everything which actually happens at that event is going to come here. So everyone who's actually invited is going to get a nice invitation. And once you're going to get that invitation, you know what you can do? You can check with your calendar if you're going to be available or not and approve or reject the request. So you can do something like check availability. It's going to show me what's my day going to look like that day, what's my agenda. Looks like I'm going to be free. I'm just going to say, yes, I'm going. Okay. It's a fairly simple thing, but as I promised, I'm going to show you how photographs work. So for those of you who want to try out Google Plus events, we have created a nice event for G Hyderabad today. Yeah, there's a G Hyderabad event, which actually, as I told you, there are a bunch of photographs which are coming. So let me tell you what I mean by the bunch of photographs coming here. Let me quickly switch to your mobile. Okay, can you guys see it? Say yes or no. Perfect. All right. I'm going to go to events. Okay, cool. I created a post G-Days party. Do you see a button called party mode there? Does anyone know what party mode does? What does it do? I hear some yeses somewhere. Perfect. I hear some very, very good answers. So whatever pic you take during the time you are in party mode, it's going to detect which event you are in. It's going to upload all your pics to that event. So as we can see, thank you. So that's Google Plus Events. But as you can see, there's this guy called Anjaneyulu who actually uploaded a pic of us. Thank you, Anjaneyulu, wherever you are. And a bunch of photographs coming our way.